You've been feeling it, haven't you? That quiet ache, the heaviness, the knowing that something needs to shift, but you're not sure how? You don't need to figure it all out. You just need a space to release, realign, and remember who you are. I'm Jennifer Pilates, and I invite you to join me for Reiki Moon Magic Distant Healing, a sacred healing experience that goes far beyond Reiki. This is a transformational energy work that cleanses the emotional clutter, clears energetic blocks, and realigns your entire being, body, mind, and spirit. Held under the sacred light of the moon, you'll enter a deeply nourishing frequency where healing happens on every level. If you've been carrying too much, if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Your healing, your release, your return to light. Reserve your space for the next Reiki Moon Magic Distant Healing at jenniferpilates.com. Come as you are, leave, transformed and empowered, body, mind, and spirit. Welcome to Empowered Within, a soul-quenching, transformational podcast that will set your soul on fire through candid and inspiring conversations. Leading experts, celebrities, healers, and I share our journeys of how we've overcome challenges to living an empowered life from within. I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates. Welcome to another episode of Empowered Within. Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Empowered Within. I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates, and let me tell you, if you've been feeling a little off, a little foggy-headed, or maybe just a whole lot of emotions lately, more than usual, you're not alone. And let me tell you, you, my friend, are not imagining it. Right now, we have been in the midst of powerful solar storms. They literally started a week ago. And I have been trying for 1 week to make this podcast. That's how intense the energies have been. Every time I would go to make the podcast, I couldn't. I have had days I couldn't move, days I couldn't think, days I just cried. I mean, are you feeling me? Have you been there too? And then just when we thought we had a reprieve the other day, bam! No such thing. So I just want you to know, hey, you're not alone. These solar storms, they are stirring up everything. These storms are flooding the Earth's magnetic field with high frequency energy. And whether you are aware of it or not, your body and your nervous system is picking up on all of it loud and clear. So in this episode, we're dropping into what's really going on, the science, the soul level shifts, and the deep emotional clearing that's rising. We're also talking about how you can support yourself through all of this. What does this mean with all of the retrogrades going on, and how to work with me to get you through this season, to find clarity and to find support. So let's breathe, let's relax, and let's dive in. So first and foremost, let's start with, what are solar storms and why do they hit us so deeply? I'll tell you, it took me years, almost a decade. Well, actually, I think it did take a decade to understand what solar storms were and to understand, as an intuitive empath, how they affected my body. And so let me help you, let me save you decades of time and tell you. Solar storms happen when the sun releases flares and has mass ejections. When the solar storms happen when the sun releases flares or mass ejections. These are huge blankets of plasma and magnetic energy that travel through space and hit the Earth's magnetic field. Now, here's where it gets personal. Your body is electromagnetic too. Your nervous system, your energy field, your mood, all of it is impacted when these solar storms roll in. And let's be clear, then you add in life, then you add in retrogrades, and it can be a shit show. It really can be. So what does this look like when the solar flares, the solar storms really begin to roll in? What does it look like for you? So let's break it down. Maybe you're feeling exhausted, even if you haven't done that much. Maybe you're wired and tired at the same time. Do you have ringing in your ears? A buzzing sensation in your body? Are you super sensitive to noise, bright lights, or being in crowds or around people? Maybe you have random waves of emotions, crying for no reason, irritability, frustrated, just We've all been there. Maybe you've got foggy thinking, you're zoning out, you've got trouble focusing. Old memories bubbling up, even stuff you thought you had healed. All of a sudden, it's back again. You're wanting to cancel everything and to be alone. And I'm here to tell you that's okay. You're waking up between the hours of 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., night after night. Okay, these are very important hours when the veil is thin and your guides are trying to download and bring you messages. Maybe you're having vivid or emotional dreams. Are you feeling spaced out or like you're not quite in your body? If you are nodding along right now, breathe. It's not just you. You're picking up on all of the shifts that are happening around you. So when we take the solar flares, the solar storms, the electromagnetic storms, and we add that to not 4, but 5 planets in retrograde, and we had a new moon, and we're coming up on a full moon, and the Lionsgate portal, let me tell you, please fasten your seatbelts. Please put your tray tables up. And hold on for dear life. I don't think you've ever heard me say that before, but I am so saying that right now because when I was given these downloads for the portals and the energies that were coming in, even though a lot of times energetically, I'm so like a month in advance, energy speaking, I'm visiting what's to come, so to speak. There were a few things this time around that the guides left out. The Lionsgate portal, which is August 8th, the full moon I knew about because we'll do one of our Reiki distant healing events, which are amazing. So make sure that you are signed up for yours. I think there's a few spots left. The new moon that just transpired that was bringing all these new beginnings, which was great. Everyone was so excited. And then a week ago today, we had all of those energies shift. Last weekend, with the energetic electromagnetic storms that rolled in, everyone's lives changed. Timelines changed. And I can promise you, so much changed that there are parts of your life, honestly, that will never be the same again. And that's okay. So let's look at the planets right now. And what do these retrogrades mean? And what is it all about? So right now we have Neptune, Mercury, Saturn, and Pluto, and Chiron that just went retrograde yesterday. Now, Chiron is such a big whopper of a deal. He's getting a whole podcast of his own. So you're going to have to tune back in to the next one to hear all about him. But for right now, let's look at the vibes. So we've got Neptune. Neptune is pulling back the veil, revealing when and where we've been fooling ourselves and holding on to false hope. The Mercury retrograde, well, you know that one. He's a humdinger. He's shaking up communication. He's giving us a chance to pause, to review, revise, rethink, trying not to get upset with the technical glitches that are going on, with things that are just screwy, right? Everything feels a little wonky when we've got Mercury in retrograde. But this is a time with Mercury in retrograde. Sometimes I feel bad. He gets a bad rap. He shouldn't have a bad rap. This is about really slowing down. What's going on? What do you need to reassess? What really was going on the last 3 months that just hasn't added up for you that you're needing to look at? What's coming back? Old boyfriends, old girlfriends, anything that has had a loose end is gonna come back, kind of to haunt you in some ways until you tie up that loose end, learn the lesson, and close that chapter once and for all. I have to tell you a funny story. So I have been saying, I don't know, probably for years now, I really wanted a new website. I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to change things. I haven't been happy with it. I've been doing little things to tweak it to make myself happy, but it's settling, right? There's an energy of I've been settling with it. And one of the big things that I'm removing from my life in all areas is settling. I'm not settling for anything anymore. And so there was an issue with my website yesterday with a company that I've been with for 30 years. And let's just say, the shit hit the fan and there was a huge glitch and it was on their end. And I was like, oh, no big deal. I've been a client for 30 years. We'll just work through this. Everything will be fine. Okay, that was not the case. 4 hours into this. And at that point, all love and light had gone out the window. There were definitely F-bombs being tossed here, there, and everywhere. And I finally got after 4 people later, I finally was talking with this one man and I said, you know what? I said, seriously, like, look, it isn't even all that in a bag of chips. And I've been really wanting to revisit changing up platforms, et cetera, with my website, for quite some time now. And what I would have said to someone else was, well, we're in a Mercury retrograde. It's coming. All this is happening for a reason. And you know what I say? What is the lesson? What is the blessing, right? So the lesson is here I have been trying to encourage myself to switch things up. And I'm very hands-on. I like to do it all myself. And I just haven't had the time. I haven't wanted to do it. I haven't wanted to deal with it, right? So what does God say? Love the quote that says, if I didn't make you uncomfortable, you wouldn't have moved. Now, you can take that literally, or in this case, take it figuratively speaking. And so the gentleman said something similar to that. And I started laughing. He started laughing. And I was like, you know what? By the end of the call, my F-bombs that were not nice finally went to, you know what? Just F it all. I don't care. I don't care. So what I'm excited to say is these are the good things that can come out of the retrograde, right? Things you've wanted to do for so long. Either those opportunities are going to come and just open up for you, or if you've been avoiding, choosing not to, deflecting, the universe will make a way, kind of like it has for me. And again, looking at the lesson and the blessings in it, it's kind of a beautiful thing. So there's your Mercury retrograde. It gets a lot of bad raps in it. And I don't think that it should. Now, moving on to the Saturn retrograde is asking us to get serious about where are our energy boundaries? What are routines? And what are we building for long term? Not for today. And it's so funny. Oh my gosh, I just had this vision. So across the internet, and I'm sure you've seen it. Maybe this is you. Women are wearing weighted vests. Okay, this is a huge thing in the health and wellness industry right now. As many of you know, if you don't know, I've been a Pilates rehabilitative expert for 25 plus years now. I have done it all. I have done every diet. I have tried everything, you name it. And then these weighted vests came. And I've been watching. And the big hoo-ha that I'm seeing is, if you wear this weighted vest and you're walking at sunrise and you're walking at sunset, you will readjust your hormones naturally. You don't have to work out, all this stuff. Can I just say something here? I'm going to deflect from our retrogrades for a moment. We're cyclical beings. Means we work on cycles. Our body is supposed to actually work with the moon cycle, and it does. It's not that it isn't supposed to, it does. This goes back to, yes, I truly believe there are 28 days in every month, and we get screwed up because of the way our society has redone calendars and redone hours and pushed women into thinking that they can have a full-time job and have a family and have everything they want and a perfect husband and all of this at one time. It's not all going to be perfect at one time. Let all that go too while we're at it. Clearly, I'm on a binge right now with all of this, right? The weighted vest. If you have one and you love it, I think that's awesome. And if this has motivated you, I think it's freaking phenomenal. And you slap that sucker on and you get your ass out there and you walk like crazy. Now, for those of you who are like, I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. It's a thing. People are wearing weighted vests. And it's cool. If this is what takes to motivate you, awesome. But here's what I'm going to tell you. A lot of my clients, most of my clients are 40 plus years old. You now have grandkids. You've got kids around. Grab a child and start walking with it. Hold on to it and go outside and walk. That child weighs 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. I'm just here to say you don't need a weighted vest to lose weight. If you want to spend the money and get one, awesome. And if it's working for you, fantastic. I'm even more excited. However, it's one more thing that someone's trying to sell you. So going back to being in the matrix, not being in the matrix, being awake, not being awake, what side of earth do you want to be on? Every time someone tries to sell you something or tells you to do something, that's when I want you to go inward and go, is this really for me? Does it really resonate for me? Or am I just looking for another Band-Aid? Because the truth is if you just got up in the morning with the sunrise and you went out for your walk and you allowed the sun to absorb in your body, i.e. no sunscreen, You're healing, and you are already allowing your cortisol levels to come down because you're walking first thing in the morning. Your lymphatic system is draining, which thus means your nervous system is regulating, which also means your hormones are naturally balancing. What does all this mean? If you're wearing that vest, awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it. If you don't have a vest and you have felt pressure to get a vest, I'm giving you permission to just go out for a walk. Do it. Same thing in the evening. What if I told you healing could be activated with light? Not a pill, not a product, but a frequency, awakening your body's natural ability to regenerate, restore, and rise with vitality. Hi, I'm Jennifer Pilates, and I've seen firsthand how light therapy patches are helping people all over the world reduce pain, calm inflammation, increase collagen, improve energy, and so much more. These non-invasive patches use the power of phototherapy to signal your body back into balance. No chemicals, no side effects, just light. If you've been feeling depleted, foggy, inflamed, or if you simply want to feel more vibrant from the inside out, this might be what your body's been asking for. I've personally experienced the difference, having worn light therapy patches for the past 15 years. I've shared them with clients, my community, and my team. Curious? Head over to jenniferpilates.com to learn more or to reach out for a personalized consultation. Your body remembers how to heal. Light just helps it remember faster. Head over to jenniferpilates.com today to learn more. The two most healing times of the day are sunrise and sunset, and for both equal reasons. Sunrise, everything that I just said, it's healing the body, it's releasing your cortisol levels, you're resetting and releasing your lymphatic system, so you're helping the toxins to move through your body. Sunset. This is now the time that the sun will come in and cleanse and help to clear your energies from the day. Do you see how important this is? Sunrise wakes you up, gets your body going. It's like another good reason that everyone should be drinking lemon water first thing in the morning. Get your system going before you put anything in it. The evening, that sunset, is representing that the day is closing out. And it actually gives your body permission to relax, to just be, while that sun is helping to cleanse all the energies that you've picked up from the day. So there you go. There's my whole, we just took a side road. I don't even know where we went, but it was guided. It was brought into me. So, hey, there you have it. Now, getting back to the retrogrades, I am not done with them. All right, Pluto. He's a big one. Pluto is dragging up stuff that, we thought we buried. It could be just something that's an old pain. It's an old pattern that you thought you were done with. Power struggles that you were like, no, I've healed myself from that. And Pluto does all this not to punish us, but Pluto is all about transformation. And we can either lean in and we can gain the strength from Pluto, which I encourage everyone to do, and the understanding and embrace it and understand Pluto and not fear Pluto. A lot of people fear Pluto like they do Mercury. And he's not meant to be feared. He is meant to be embraced, to understand that transformation is change, and change brings about amazing things. So the last planet that is in retrograde right now, not to say last, he is a big one, is Chiron, who is the wounded healer. And that's all I'm going to say about him, because Chiron is so amazing. He's getting his own podcast. So like I said, you're going to have to pop back on to hear about Chiron. You'll see all of this colliding right now is a time for huge intention setting. It's a time to deep dive into yourself. It's a time to just breathe. It's a time to journal. It's a time to get clarity on what feels right in my life, what doesn't feel right in my life, what is being removed from my life, and am I allowing that, or am I struggling to hold on to that? Because remember, everything and anything that is being removed and cleansed and cleared, there's going to be new things to come in. If we don't cleanse and clear and shut doors and remove things, we can't bring in new things. It's as simple as, a good practice I love to do, whether that's seasonally or even sometimes once a month, is go through your stuff, especially my desk. I have to go through my desk at least once a month and cleanse and clear. I go through my emails now weekly. I used to do it once a year. Oh my gosh, so bad. But once a week, I will go through and I will clear out the spam and I'll get out all the crap, right? Because I'm meeting new people now. I want to make sure that what's new for my life now is coming in and I'm seeing it first. Same thing, new clothes. Something comes in, something should go. There's somebody else that needs that shirt that you haven't worn in 6 months. And that's what retrograde planets are all about. And so there's a yin and a yang with it. There's this flow with it. And so when we have the storms and we've got the retrogrades and we're just going deep with it all, we just need to lean in and remember that everything is okay. This too is going to pass. While it feels like, and it does, it feels like the world could be ending around you. And I know that there's many people that talk about it and joke about it. And I had this conversation the other day and we were talking about it. And truth be told is, there was a huge aspect of the world that ended back in 2020, 2021. And I know a lot of people wanted things to go back to quote unquote normal. I'm not sure that we ever knew what that was, but I can tell you now, we sure in the hell, there is no radar for normal anywhere. And what's going on now, it does feel out of body-esque, right? And the best way that I can help you to feel grounded with everything that's going on, and there is a lot going on in our earth, in our world. Mother Nature, she's not happy right now. And she's not doing anything, and the world isn't doing anything to punish us. Just as you need to clean out cabinets and get the dust bunnies out, Mother Nature has her way of cleaning and cleansing and clearing things out and getting out what's dark and icky and old and doesn't need to be around anymore, to cleanse and clear that area to allow newness and brightness and lightness to come in. It's not always great. It's not always wonderful. And we saw that most recently with the major earthquake that transpired, the tsunami warnings that went off. And I will say this, this is usually stuff I talk about privately with clients, but I feel that it's important to share that what transpired just the last couple of days, I know it was, but for me, it honestly feels like it was weeks ago at this point in time, the way that I live, energetically speaking. That was more like a warning. That was more like a heads up. Are you prepared? Are you ready? There's a lot more of this energy to come. And by that, I mean, there's a lot more volcanoes that you'll hear about, both earth and in water. We have volcanoes that are in water as well as on our earth. You're going to be hearing a lot more about them going off. You're going to be hearing and seeing a lot more flooding in a lot more places. The storms, general storms, not even the electromagnetic storms, general storms speaking, are going to intensify. And I know you're saying, well, holy smoly, they've already intensified. Yes, they have. But that is upticking. And how we kind of know this, and I know it on a few different levels. And if you know me, I love A plus B equals C. And sure, I love my intuitive world and I appreciate my downloads and I appreciate when I'm given information to share and be able to help people. I like to do it from a grounded sense, meaning I want people to be able to find the clarity and the empowerment in the knowledge of which I share. So some people may call it woo. I would never. I call it, I'm just blessed with gifts and I happen to know things. And when I'm guided to share them, I do. And so why I share that all of this and more is going to be on an uptick between the retrogrades, astrologically speaking, that we have, between the energetic portal that we have opening up with the 8-8 portal. And then you couple that with the major full moon, that energy back to back. It is a lot. And there are other things at play within astrology. And then you add in the solar storms that I would like to believe that we cannot control them all. And I don't believe that we can control all of them. I do believe that there are certain things going on in the earth with certain storms that perhaps our Mother Nature formed. And then I do believe that there is an essence of man who then is playing God and intensifying. There we go. That's the way I'm going to say it when it comes to the storm. So there is a lot more of that to come. And so what does that mean? Here's what it means. In the next few weeks, I would hope, if you're listening to this, that you're not around any volcanoes on the earth or out in the sea. I would hope that you would keep an eye out if you are near the shore or on the shore. And I'm saying that being someone who I'm not even 5 miles from the shore. I'm very close to the shore. I'm also very guided and very aware. A perfect instance was when the tsunami warning went off the other day. I usually, first thing in the morning, go down to the pool and do my Pilates and work out. And I went to say goodbye to the kitties, and I always say like, oh, where I'm going. And I was like, oh, goodbye, I'm getting ready to, and I was about to say go to the pool, but instead what came out of my mouth was I'm going to the beach. And I thought, oh, how fascinating. So I said, okay, the universe wants me to go to the beach. I'm going to the beach. So I went over to the beach and I walked around and I was just watching and I was thinking, okay, there's something here for me to see. I did my usual beach walk. I'm collecting my shells. I come back, I go into the ocean and I went, I see it now. The waves in the ocean that's usually clear was very dirty. And it was dirty because what I was witnessing when you have some sort of earthquake that's going on and the platelets of the earth are shifting and moving, the energy of the sea will change, which means the waves, like the wave of tsunami, it doesn't come from the top. It comes from the bottom of the ocean floor. So the ocean floor kicks up and your waves, like, you know what I'm saying? Like in your certain areas and the waves are just beautiful and they're the colors in the ocean. You walk out and you see your toes and the fish, that was not that the other day. I was being shown, and by the way, I am on the East Coast, and what was transpiring was on the West Coast and the Pacific. I knew at that point in time, already I could feel the seismic shift, the energies that was coming through the earth, because just because there's an earthquake in Japan doesn't mean that the earth in the United States is not going to feel that. That Richter scale, particularly the other day, I think it ended in 8.8, 8.9. That ripple effect went all the way through everything. It was even felt, there was a seismic shift. I believe it was in Columbia, South Carolina, that they were able to tag it. Just to give you an idea. So what I was witnessing and why I was being called there, and I do a lot of work with Poseidon out in the ocean, is, hey, I'm giving you a heads up. What's going on here on the East Coast? Wink, wink. And I was like, okay, I understand. See, Mother Nature needs to balance out. Mother Nature needs to balance out. And right now, half of the earth was very shooken. Is that a word? She was shooken. And there was a lot that went on. Well, the other half, right, of the earth, we've got a yin and a yang here, is all wacky and out of balance. And things need to come into balance. So we will be seeing stuff happen. And it is going to pop up on the East Coast, and it is going to pop up over in Europe. And it has to. Not only does it has to, it's just, you can just see and you can watch the earth and how she's reacting, energetically speaking, with the platelets and how things are shifting, that we're in that movement period. I have no idea why I was guided to share everything that I did. And I can actually tell you right now, this is what happens when I know I've channeled. I literally have no idea what I just said, but I do know that I shared some things that I probably would share to a girlfriend, but not necessarily on here. So I think that's so fascinating that I came on here to do a podcast completely about one thing, and they keep bringing in channeled messages for you today. So I know that there's way more to all of this that's going on. You now know there's way more to all this going on. And you can see the fun in how I work with my life every day with messages that come through. They're so funny. They're like, please say this. Please don't call me and ask me if you're going to have an earthquake in your city. It's so interesting. I can say this though. I'm someone, and if you're an intuitive empath out there, we all react differently to things. I'm very earth activated. So I know when things are going on with the earth, not just within my present vicinity, but just in general with earth, with Mother Earth. And the other night when things were going on, I woke up, I was so nauseous. For me, I get very nauseous around earthquakes. And today I woke up very nauseated again. So I'm always given a heads up of when things happen. And so I say this to pay attention to your body. What are you feeling when certain things happen? And this is a way people always ask me, well, how can I begin to trust my intuition? This is an excellent way to begin to trust your intuition. Start keeping track of how you feel and what happens around you. Do you get a stomach ache and then all of a sudden Betty Lou calls you? And now every time before Betty Lou calls, you get a stomach ache. And can you put the two and two together? See, that is where my A plus B equals C. So yes, I always say it. I love to ride a unicorn. I do have a life-size unicorn, but that's for another episode. But at the same time, I like to understand. At the same time, I like the science behind it all. I like to talk about the earth platelets moving. I have written, actually, oh, no, I can't say that. Oopsie, about to give away secrets. We can't talk about that just yet. Okay, so we are deflecting all over the place right now with all of our podcasting information that is coming through. So let's talk about how can I support you right now? We just talked about a lot of stuff, and I can feel maybe your head is spinning, maybe it's not. It depends on where you're at on your spiritual path. And I'm someone who people find me when they're on their spiritual path. And I love to be that blessing of a person that says, hey, can I please save you, a decade or maybe 2 decades as to where you are, why you're there, and what's going on. This is not a time to beat yourself up or to force anything or to feel the need to figure it all out. Or you can have the need to figure it all out, but I can promise you, you're not going to figure it all out right now. Definitely not with the way everything is energetically, because we're not supposed to. This is actually one of those times where we're not always supposed to know all the answers. And if you are a fellow Taurus, like myself, probably a Virgo, a Capricorn, this could drive you a little batshit crazy. Well, we need plans. And not only do we have a plan, we have 4 plans to go with that one plan. So when we're in these time frames of we're just not supposed to know, we're just supposed to sort of feel our way through, that's a big deal, right? So we're all in this together. This is a time to be feeling what feels good and what doesn't, to let it go so that we can then, like Mother Earth, begin to realign. Like I said earlier, last weekend when all of these electromagnetic storms started, all of our lives changed. Collectively, energetically speaking. Nothing is the same. Certainly isn't the same as 2020. Definitely is not the same as the beginning of 2025. And I can promise you, at the end, when we're welcoming 2026, and I know so many of you are like, get me out of this year. We haven't even hit the cusp of all of this amazingness that's shifting. You see all of this energy and the electromagnetic storms that are playing out for us. This is all about cleansing and clearing our bodies and releasing the dense energies that we have taken on being here on Earth. We're not meant to be in pain. We're not meant to be ho-humming and going to a job we don't like, being in a marriage we don't like, in a relationship we don't like, in a car we don't like. Goes back to something I said earlier where in my life there's no more settling, right? We're not meant to settle. We're meant to be happy, to laugh, to love life. You're meant to be doing things that bring you happiness and joy and love life. And to know that when you align with those things and those people and those places, you will be supported. You will be taken care of. And I can promise you more so than you've ever imagined. And it will not even a little speck of salt have an ounce of, okay, I'll settle for that. The energies and the way the universe is upgrading everyone and cleansing and clearing all of us, there is no more settling. It's almost like it's an all or nothing. Are you all in? Are you leaning all in? Are you believing in yourself? Are you believing in what you're feeling? Are you believing in what's being shown to you? And it's not easy. It is not easy. It really isn't. And so a few suggestions that you can do. And I try not to make suggestions that aren't things that I don't do for myself, by the way. Yes, getting up in the morning and starting your day with lemon water, I find is very important. I've been doing it forever. And that's the way I look at it, is like you're cleansing your body and all of your organs first thing in the morning before you put everything in it that you put in it. Can you set aside time during the day where you can shut your phone off? Even if it's just for 5 minutes, or put it somewhere. We're so overstimulated with everything from apps to work to emails. I mean, don't tell me, someone sends you a text, don't you feel like you need to respond right away? It's ridiculous. And then can you imagine someone that doesn't respond to you right away? You're like, the nerve. That's when you know, okay, we need to back off of things. Journal what's coming up, especially with all of this retrograde energy that we have going on. What memories are coming up for you? What dreams are coming up for you? What are the emotions that are coming up for you? Taking Epsom salt baths are amazing. Plus, you want to talk about a great night's sleep? Oh my gosh, amazing. Movement. For me, movement is crucial. Movement is crucial for all of us because movement allows energies to flow through us. During some electromagnetic storms, I have such a surge of energy. I physically cannot sit still. And I see it in my animals too. All of a sudden, I've got to clean, I've got to move, I've got to do whatever. And that's my body being guided to help get the energy through me. That's not a time to think that you're going to lay down and have a Reiki meditation. It never works. Then there are other times where I'm completely, I call it flatlined, which means there is no movement. I can't even keep my eyes open. And I've got to lay down. And I see that in my animals too. And pay attention to that. Pay attention to, if you have animals around or children around, how they're reacting, how you're reacting, and watch how cyclical and how in tune you all are. The other thing that really helps a lot is when you can clean your home, you can rearrange the space in your home. It moves energies. It gets stagnation and releases it. It's always a great thing. I always say, you're stuck in your head and you're trying to drop down into your heart and into your body. If you can get outside and go for a walk, go for a walk. You can particularly go for the walk on the beach. Amen. Please do that. If you can't, start cleaning. If you hate cleaning, start reorganizing. If you hate reorganizing, clean. Just the motion of just shifting things from drawer to drawer, cleaning the refrigerator. Oh my gosh, it's so therapeutic. Some of you are probably thinking I'm crazy, but the rest of you, as you go on through your spiritual journey, it's crazy, but this becomes your home is your temple, like your body is your temple. And you want that energy to be cleansed and cleared and as supportive as it can be for you. Don't ignore any of your body's cues, right? Because nothing random about that. If there's an ache, if there's a pain, if there's something going on, your body is always trying to tell you something. And I always say dis-ease in the body is a precursor to disease in the body. And dis-ease is letting you know where there is blocked energy in the body. And that blocked energy, 9 times out of 10, has to do with an emotional aspect that has not been dealt with. It has to do with an emotion that, I'm not going to deal with that today. I'm going to go do something else. That's when your body begins to bring you cues. So I would say the first thing, and one of the first things I do when I'm working with people and I'm kind of scanning their body intuitively and knowing what's going on, is that's when you can get to the root cause of what's going on. Because when you can get to the root cause, you can release the dis-ease before it gets to disease, and you can allow the energy to flow, which brings you into alignment, body, mind, and spirit. And now you're able to attract in everything that you've been wanting just by a few simple shifts. I know it sounds super easy. It's not always super easy. It takes time. However, it is doable. One of my favorite things, say no if your energy says no, even to people you love. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. I can't tell you, for years, I was a people pleaser. No, decades. I was a people pleaser. And so now I say I'm a recovering people pleaser. It doesn't mean I don't have to keep myself in check, but the key is to say no. No is a sentence, period. You do not have to give an explanation. When someone starts to go, well, no, because blah, 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 all those blahs, that's a trauma response. That's still old stuff right there that's going on. So right now, just know right now that the energies are strong, the energies are intense, and the energies are asking you to lean in. Lean into the uncomfortableness, lean into where you've never leaned into before so that you can take that deep dive and meet your soul on that new timeline. If everything I've just shared is hitting home and you're thinking, wow, this is so what I've been feeling, and I don't want to do this alone. She knows a lot of what's going on. I want to align with her. And the truth is, I have been through it. I've been through a lot. I mean, when I look back, someone said to me the other day, they're like, I think I was complaining about something, and they're like, take a minute and I want you to remember everything that you've been through. And literally this person kind of like reversed what I would normally do with them. And they took me back. I'm like, okay, so when I was born, I was sick. I was sick the whole first half of my life. Autoimmune disease, on every medication you can imagine, couldn't breathe without a steroid inhaler if it was after 6 p.m., was definitely submerging myself in my late 20s and 30s with alcohol and numbing out and not knowing why. You think that's the age and that's just what you do, but that's not the truth. That wasn't why I was doing it. Having been in horrible toxic situations with people that you love that are supposed to be there to protect you and you should feel safe with, and I was not safe for long periods of my life, in and out of disastrous relationships. Oh my goodness gracious, those are fun. And I say that with a half a giggle. I've been through it all. I've been through emotional, physical, mental anguish. I've been through the health scares, not even just scares. I've been through a lot of health crises through my life. I have been surrounded by narcissism and narcissists because, well, that's what happens sometimes when you come to Earth and you have picked a path that is not all rainbows, unicorns, and lollipops. And I use that analogy probably, if you've listened to the podcast, you've heard me say it before, when I work with my mentor, and I'm having a moment and I'm just pissy and whatever it is. And she reminds me, you did not come to this earth for rainbows, unicorns, and lollipops. You did not come here to be a dumb blonde. You are powerful. Start tuning in and using your power. And I'll tell you, God, it brings me to tears now every time. Boy, she just, she doesn't let me get away with anything. And I appreciate that. And it's true. If it wasn't for every situation that I've been through, the trials and the tribulations and the challenges, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be able to help all of the people that I help, which is the blessing. And so many people find me on their spiritual path, not knowing necessarily what foot is next, or not understanding that, God, everything feels so weird. I don't feel like I'm in my body. I feel like I'm watching a movie right now. I see what's going on and it's devastation, but yet I'm not connected to it. What? I don't understand that. I can't tell you how many days I get that, how many times a day I get that email or I get that call or I get that DM. So I just want you to know you're not alone. And you don't have to go through this alone. And I'd like to invite you to work with me if this has resonated with you. And there are numerous ways. The Empowered Within Hour, this is my most powerful spiritual mentorship session. It's a one-on-one space where we take a deep dive into what your soul is truly trying to say to you. What emotional blocks are ready to be cleared once and for all. How to realign with your highest, most grounded self and timeline. And most importantly, how to move forward with clarity and your own intuitive superpowers by locking them in and understanding them and feeling empowered within. I've got the toolbox. You don't have to go out and spend years trying to figure it out when I've done 2 decades worth of it for you. This session is for you if you're done sitting in confusion of all the jazz that's going on around you, the energies, the planets, the life, and you're ready to feel empowered from within. This session is 1 part intuitive guidance, 1 part energy healing, and 1 part soul strategy. You can book your session over at jenniferpilates.com, or you can book your session by sending me an email at info@jenniferpilates.com, and in the subject line, write, "I'm ready." And then tell me a little bit about yourself. Let me help you to feel empowered within. Let me help you to align body, mind, and spirit. Let me help you to guide you to the most empowered position you could ever be in, to recognize the superpowers that you have within you. And most importantly, let me help you to understand that you don't have to go through the spiritual journey alone. We have an incredible Empowered Within community, and I would love to welcome you into it. So again, if you'd like to work with me, send me an email to info@jenniferpilates.com. In the subject line, write, "I'm in," and then send a little message along with it that you're ready to feel empowered within. I'd love to walk with you through this amazing journey. Before we go, I just want to say this. There were a lot of channeled messages today. I'm really looking forward to going back and editing the podcast and to hear what came through and to be able to listen as a listener like you. These solar storms, please know, they are not here to break you. They are not here to make your life miserable. They're here to remind you of who you are underneath all of the noise of the world. They're here to rewire you for the next version of your life, one that feels lighter, truer, and more aligned with your authentic self. So take it slow, have grace with yourself, honor where you are, and trust that you are becoming something so beautiful, even you can't quite see it yet. And as always, may you live an empowered life from within.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Empowered Within with Jennifer Pilates. Your feedback is important. It helps me to connect with you and gives me insight into who you are and what you're enjoying about the show. For today's show notes and discount codes from today's sponsors, head over to jenniferpilates.com. Until next time, may you live an empowered life from within. What if your wellness practice could feel like a sacred return instead of another thing on your to-do list? Welcome to the Jennifer Pilates Wellness Studio, your on-demand sanctuary for realignment, healing, and empowerment. Inside, you'll find a unique fusion of Pilates-based movement, Reiki-infused meditations, and mindful body practices designed to support the woman over 40, living with more energy, ease, and alignment. This isn't just fitness. This is full body, whole being recalibration. Whether you've been feeling out of sync, burned out, or just craving a space that gets you, this is for you. With flexible monthly and annual memberships, you can begin wherever you are and grow from within. Start today at jenniferpilates.com. You don't need to do it all. You just need a place to come home to yourself. This is that place.